Here's a little KVJ Court for you guys. So the sender writes, I'm sending you this email from the hospital. I just gave birth yesterday, and what should be a day of pure joy is now a fight with my husband. He just assumed that we would have our son circumcised. But I am not for doing anything that's going to be traumatic to my baby, especially so soon after his birth. Personally, I think it's barbaric and cruel and simply one of those outdated things that we as a society do simply because it's the way it's always been done. My husband thinks it just makes a man look normal and that he doesn't have any memory of his circumcision or the pain. He says our son will look like a freak when he is grown if he doesn't get circumcised. To me, this is a decision that rests with the person who gave birth. What should we do? Because we need a decision soon, and neither one of us is willing to budge.
Why are y'all talking about this now?
Yeah, maybe it's something that just came up. Yeah, well, you'd think you'd have stuff like this worked out. Maybe you just assumed, or maybe maybe she looked into it and she had second thoughts after seeing what it was all about, the process.
I got zero memory of mine, and I'm happy I got it. I'm going, Mom, Dad, good job. I'm glad you did this one for me.
I think if you have a penis, you can comment on this, or if you're a doctor, you can comment on this.
Well, Kevin, you've got one of those. Are you glad that Mom and Dad took off the hat?
I'm good with it now. And I think that's probably where he's coming from.
I think that medically it makes it easier to clean, and that's why doctors suggest doing it. And our doctor wanted to do it when Rocco was born, and she always does it. And I was like, okay, who am I to go against a doctor who's been doing this her whole life and knows all the risks and still chooses that path?
Well, she's going, it's going to hurt my baby, and it's not fair to do the baby. And
right.
I get all that, but people have been doing this for many, many years, and the kid's going to be fine. The kid's not going to remember.
Kids don't like to get vaccinations either when they're newborn, and that hurts them too, but it's a good thing.
Well, I'm asking you, if you had a box saying, I'm glad my parents did it, or I wish they wouldn't have, what box would you check?
I'm going with do it.
Yes.
That's where I am. But she's probably had somebody get in her ear and said, do you know what that really is? You didn't have one, so you don't know what they did to you. It's barbaric. Some people think it truly is barbaric to circumcise, and they think it's one of those things like, why do we do it? It is something that is just one of those things that we do only because we've always done it that way. It maybe has religious significance, and if you're not religious, who cares?
Well, I mean, I understand if there's something religious that you practice, I get that. But if you're not religious and you're just trying to do your own thing, I'm glad that I have no hat. I'm glad that they took off the hood. See what I'm saying? I'm glad I got circumcised. I'm trying to clean it up, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just confusing.
I guess I haven't run into a lot of uncircumcised penises in my adventures out there in the world. I don't really know what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a preference thing. I'm a guy just saying what I personally. I'm glad it worked out that way for me.
Well, I'm wondering if it's happening less, because they have run the numbers and people are less religious than they used to be.
We're more woke.
And
we got to think about the feelings of the baby. The baby has feelings.
Right.
It feels very woke to me.
Well, we're big on that. We're big on trauma that happens in the womb, trauma that happens when a child is young. You put all that together, saying I'm not religious anyway. I think it's just an old school thing we used to do. Then I can see why she is where she is.
But I don't think it's just about religion. I think there's an actual medical cleanliness thing that makes it safer for the
I believe it does have a purpose
penis to be that way.
There's going to be medical people that say this is another reason why we do it, and it's because we don't want
a bacteria trap on the end of your dong.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so does anybody have a slam dunk argument one way or the other? And I'll have Suits put up a KVJ TV poll. What do you think? Who should win this KVJ Court battle for their brand new son?
People are talking about people that got circumcised later on in life.
Oh.
Right.
And they go, it was horrific.
She wrote that in the email. I didn't put that in it.
She wants to wait.
She's like, it should be his choice when he becomes an adult.
Mom, I think you're off the grid on this one.
Yeah, I should have put that in there in that edited version.
Oh, yeah. I would love to hear from adult men who had circumcision stories.
Well, that's why she's saying she wins the argument, because she's like, I got the perfect rebuttal to it, because I'm telling him just it should be our son's choice, and when he turns 18, he gets to decide. And I was like, yeah, I thought that would be a lot worse at 18.
There's a reason why parents have to make choices for kids, though. If not, kids will do whatever there's a reason.
Yeah.
You can't, there's a time where you're supposed to make choices for your kid to make sure your kid is on the right way of
She
health.
thinks it's outdated, and it needs to be her son's choice when he turns 18 years old. Does he get circumcised or not? Well, I'm wondering, do they still, if you were talking to a doctor, do they say, yeah, it's much better to do it?
Yeah, they did it to
say
Rocco.
that? Okay, they do tell you that?
Rocco got the cut.
Okay. One text said, yeah, I was in the room with both my sons, and it was quick and easy. It also allowed us to discover a potential problem with our younger son that wouldn't have been found until much later.
Mom, if you're up there listening, you do the right thing. So glad you made the decision for me.
Okay.
I'm more over the moon happy with the decision.
Clean and neat is way better than complicated and hooded.
I've heard girls talk too before. Some I don't know. It depends. I mean, I'm seeing in the chat room someone saying that I had a boyfriend that had the hood on. It made no difference to me. But I've also heard girls talk about how they're not into it. So I don't know. For me, it's a preference. I like taking off the hat.
How do you like your men?
Well, I'm saying just for me.
Yeah.
For when I look down.
The mom, her thought is that, hey, look, this is something that should be a decision of our son to make when the time is right for him. Now, I got a text from one mom says, yeah, we decided to circumcise our son 3 days after birth, but my husband had to have it done when he was 16, and it was horrible. And he vividly remembers everything.
Of course.
Yeah, I've heard that if you do it later on in life.
I think, too, because someone just texted me that another person who dated someone was not circumcised ago, he was not cleanly with it. And that really had an issue. And it was easier for him to get dirt.
Look, young boys struggle with being cleanly. I've discovered this because I have one in my house. He's like a cat. He hates going in the bathtub. And so why are you going to give that kid a disadvantage when it comes to cleanliness and possible infection?
Look, not trying to shame anybody here. Hats on, hats off. For me, it's,
Well, this text says it's all about how you clean. I was with a man who was not circumcised. He was very clean, and oh man, was it amazing.
There you go.
So she would endorse not having it done.
Yeah, too. I mean, whether you got, the hat on or the hat off, you got to take care of your junk. You got to clean it.
Okay.
Right?
I think we can all agree on that.
That's the one thing I think we can agree on.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wash your D.
Somebody else said, I want to hear what's going on with KVJ. We'll do a quick raise your hand poll. Raise your hand if you are. Okay, how many we got? Oh, that's 100%. Even Virginia is circumcised. That's nice. We got Diane on here from Lake Worth Beach, and she is a nurse. Do they tell you when you have a baby boy that you should or should not circumcise when they're born?
Some of them do, some of them don't. It depends on the physician. But what I'm calling about is I've come across a lot of newbie nurses that don't know any better. And when we get these older gentlemen who haven't used it in a while, that skin is real tight, and they force it back over the head to clean around the head of the penis, and that's where it's stuck. And it has to take surgery to get it unstuck because it's cutting off the circulation to the head of the penis.
That's quite a complication later on in life.
Oh my gosh.
It almost strangles it.
You got old man penis problems?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that comes with the territory
I never
anyway.
heard that one. Wow.
Imagine how that looks.
I've seen it.
Wow.
Coupled with the old balls, no thanks.
So, yeah, right. What a combo, huh?
Those nurses are doing the Lord's work.
I mean,
and they need a raise.
Heroes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Aging is so hot.
Those things look gross when they're 20 years old. Can you
terrible,
imagine a stuck old 80-year-old penis? Ah.
Even in the prime, I'm not sure.
There's not enough money.
In the prime of Nards, I'm not sure that they're going to win a beauty contest.
No.
Yeah. I will tell you, it seems like even today, the overall consensus by most people texting in and after hearing Diana's story is you should do it. And you should do it pretty quick. I think you need to do it within a couple days.
Let's not wait
to make it ideal.
Till our kid's 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to side with the medical community. We're going to listen to all of the opinions, and we're going to take the opinions of those most decorated with medical experience and degrees. People, get off the internet.
Yeah.
You're not a doctor.
We got 700 people in the chat room right now. What's the percentage of circumcised versus not? They asked us.
It is.
Great question.
It's fair to ask them.
If you have a penis, is it cut?
Well, they are agreeing heavily with the dad here. 80% say they should circumcise their son. Only 20 said no.
There you go.
They'll do it. So if you wanted a ruling on that, sorry, Mom, who sent us the email, you lose.